All right, let's just jump right in with a big one. Is time real? I mean, is it actually a fundamental part of the universe, or is it just something our brains cook up? It's a question that gets really weird really fast.
And hey, if you're already scratching your head, you are in very good company. This isn't a new problem. Over 1600 years ago, St. Augustine hit the nail on the head. He basically said, I totally get what time is right up until you ask me to explain it. And isn't that just perfect? We live in time, but defining it, good luck with that. And this really gets to the heart of the confusion, doesn't it? You've got two kinds of time. First, there's clock time, reliable, measurable, objective, 60 seconds in a minute every single time. But then there's mind time, and you definitely know this one. That's when a 5-minute meeting feels like an eternity, but a 2-hour movie just flies by. So which one is the real one?
Okay, so to even begin to untangle this mess, let's start with what we all think we know. Let's talk about our gut feeling, that default picture of time we all carry around. This is the common sense version of time. It's like a river, right? It just flows in one direction, carrying us all along for the ride. The past, that's back there, done, set in stone. The future, totally open. Who knows what'll happen? And the only thing that's truly real is this very moment, the now. It just feels right. Another way to picture it is like reality is a bunch of individual moments, like dots on a page, and time is the pencil that's drawing a line, connecting the past dot to the present dot to the future dot. It's a nice, clean picture. The only problem? Physics is about to come in and just scribble all over it.
And this is where things get really wild. Because that whole comfortable, intuitive idea of time, it gets completely smashed, thanks to, you guessed it, Albert Einstein.
So Einstein's theory of relativity was a total game changer. He proved that space and time aren't two separate things. Nope, they're woven together, part of the same four-dimensional fabric he called space-time. And once you accept that, well, things get weird fast. And here's the absolute kicker. If space-time is a real thing, then this idea we all have of a single universal now, it's just wrong. It doesn't exist. My present is not your present. Let that sink in for a second. The fancy term for this is the relativity of simultaneity. And it's not just a theory, it's a proven fact. It means if you're on a speeding train and I'm standing still, we will literally disagree about what's happening right now somewhere else. So that one big river of time we all thought we were floating on, poof, it just shattered into billions of little personal streams. You know, if Einstein put a crack in our understanding of time, quantum mechanics takes a sledgehammer to the whole thing. So let's go a little deeper down the rabbit hole, shall we? Because some physicists today are asking an even crazier question. What if time isn't fundamental at all? Like, what if it's not part of the basic code of the universe? What if it's just an illusion that pops into existence from a reality that has no time whatsoever? And this isn't just talk. There are physicists right now who can figure out how particles will interact without even using the variable for time in their equations. It's wild. They use these incredible geometric shapes, like something called an amplitudahedron, that exist outside of time and space to get the right answers. Think about it like this. The old way of doing physics was like, okay, you have a stage, that's space-time, and you have actors, those are the particles, moving on it. But this new idea flips it on its head. It says, forget the stage. Let's start with this timeless, geometric thing first. And from that, the stage and even time itself just emerge. They're an afterthought, not the main ingredient. Okay, so if time isn't fundamental, then what gives? Why do we feel it so strongly? How can we experience this constant flow, this ticking clock, if the underlying reality is totally static? Well, one physicist, Julian Barber, has a pretty bold answer. He basically says our feeling that time is flowing is just a really, really convincing illusion. What's actually real, according to him, are just individual snapshots of the universe, timeless nows, and they all exist at the same time. This whole idea is called the block universe. Imagine the entire lifespan of the universe, from the Big Bang to the very end, as a single, solid block. Every event that has ever happened, is happening, or will happen is just a slice in that block. It's all there, already. Our consciousness is like a spotlight, moving along the block and lighting up one slice at a time, giving us this feeling that time is passing. Now, this whole block universe thing sounds pretty philosophical, kind of out there.
But what if I told you that scientists have actually tested a version of this? What if they actually watched time appear out of thin air from a system that had no time in it to begin with? The experiment boiled down to one really profound question. Can you have a system that is totally static? I mean, frozen, unchanging, from an outside perspective. But for someone inside that system, time is ticking away normally. So here's how they did it, basically. They created a little toy universe with just two entangled photons, two particles of light. They made one of them act like a clock, tick-tock. And then they watched to see if the other particle changed in relation to that clock, all from the perspective of an observer inside this tiny two-particle universe. And this is the mind-blowing part. From the inside view, yep, things were changing. The second photon state was evolving against the clock photon. For an observer in there, time was 100% real. But, and this is a huge but, for a super observer, looking at the whole system from the outside, nothing was happening. The total state of the two particles was completely static, unchanging.
The data was crystal clear. It proved both things were true at once. From the inside, looking out, change, evolution, the flow of time. But from the outside looking in, a static, frozen system. Time wasn't a fundamental property. It literally emerged from the relationship between the parts of the system.
So what does this all mean for us? Well, it suggests that maybe time isn't a thing at all. Maybe it's a relationship. The reason we feel time flowing is because we aren't looking at the universe from some godlike perch on the outside. We're in it. We're part of it, entangled with everything else. And that entanglement, that's what creates the experience of a past, a present, and a future.
And that leaves us with one final, kind of dizzying thought to chew on. If the universe is like a movie that's already been filmed, every frame from the beginning to the end already exists in that block universe, is the movie just playing itself? Or are we the projector? Is our consciousness, by being tangled up with everything, the very thing that lights up each frame, one after the other, creating the story we call time?